What's happening, fam? I'm just getting some shares out here, and we'll be starting momentarily. Y'all are having a fantastic Monday. I was trying to get this video out earlier this morning, but I just couldn't stay up enough. We were working late through the night, and we have some exciting stuff to talk about today. Just finishing up a couple shares, like I said here. We're going to dive right in. We've got a juicy episode lined up here. Right, and with that, we are going to dive right in.
You are watching Chaos Crypto News, the crypto news that you need to know.
What's cracking, everybody? Chaos Crypto News here. We are live. You're having a fantastic Monday. What a crazy week. The markets are crazy. Everything's heating up, and what a time to be alive, hey? I'm going to start this off by saying, not financial advice. Do your own research, and don't trust, but verify. We're going to start off with some Quanzilla AI news for the day. So we just launched a meme and lore contest on our Telegram community. Be sure that you join the Telegram and get involved for your chance to win. Actually, I'll be posting it up after this video is done, but it's happening today. It's super exciting stuff. 2 zillions NFTs are going to be given out to members. One for the best Quantzilla meme, GIF, or short video, and another for the best Quantzilla lore. Find more info, find what we require, and enter the competition in the announcements tab on Telegram. Payments to Quantzilla Genesis NFT holders have been sent out, so check your wallets if you are a holder. Exciting times. And as we touched on last episode, holders of the X-Bank token, led by Million Pixel Wall, who you got to check out if you haven't so far, they have received a Qzilla airdrop. And that's only if they held over 40 million X-Bank tokens before the airdrop, though. 10 billion Zilla tokens were distributed exclusively to those holders. Speaking of airdrops, supporters of Quantzilla holding 1 billion or more Quantzilla tokens on the XRPL will be entitled to our 5% supply airdrop of 50 billion BNB and 50 billion poly-wrapped Qzilla tokens to diversify token holding off XRPL and open up the floodgates for arbitrage opportunities between the chains. Not to mention, we got a bunch of other stuff planned for the future. Find more info on how to apply for the Zilla airdrop also by heading to our Telegram under the announcement section and apply with your wallet addresses. And also, keep your eyes out for an upcoming announcement of a special airdrop of another XRPL token to Qzilla holders. So load your moonbags of Qzilla, folks. Lots of exciting stuff in the future. Also, paid to raid weekly payout master list is going to go live a little later today in our announcement section on Telegram. The master list is live. We're going to update it with today's totals for the week. So make sure you bank your raider rewards as they don't expire. You can either cash out or start fresh on the next week, or let it roll over and continue to essentially bank your holdings. Raiders on the leaderboard can request payouts in Quantzilla on either XRPL or BNB chain, and you can trade the BNB wrapped Quanzilla on PancakeSwap. Don't forget to hit that rocket here on Deck Screener, folks. Head over there, help us out. We're over 500, super exciting stuff. And if you haven't jumped in yet, head over to quantzilla.online. Sometimes you need to add the www in front there. But join our Telegram community, get paid to raid, and also make sure you verify our coin addresses there because we do have a bunch of impersonators. Don't get scammed. And finally, check out my YouTube channel at KhaosDubz for crypto games content, scam investigations, XCC and Cardano deep dives, among other things, interviews with XRPL projects, more news segments, and a whole lot more. You can find some links in the description below on YouTube, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, and follow. Let's get into today's news on the broader crypto markets. So the OnlyFans creator Amaranth claims that she shot an armed crypto robber. As if you've been watching the last few episodes, folks, we've been talking a lot about the $5 wrench attack. It's pretty common lately, and I mean, with all the scams happening, it's just becoming a wild, wild world. You really got to watch who you talk to and watch who you give any information to. But let's dig into what happened here. So apparently, robbers pointed a gun at her head and demanded that she hand over her crypto during a home invasion that resulted in her being pistol whipped and her shooting one of her assailants. Around 11 p.m. last night, Amaranth alerted her followers on X that she was being robbed at gunpoint, claiming, "This is not a prank, help." She says she was dragged out of bed and told to hand over her crypto during the attack. However, she believes she shot one of her attackers, saying, "I'm covered in blood, but only some of it is mine." Amaranth said she was at gunpoint. They gave me the phone and said, "Log in," with a gun to her head, and she tweeted because calling would have been a death sentence. Apparently, she was pistol whipped. She lost a considerable amount of blood on the way to the hospital. Despite this, she claims that she is in stable condition and safe for now. Amaranth is one of the highest-ranking Twitch streamers and is known for her ASMR-themed live streams and adult content on OnlyFans. Last November, she reportedly revealed her crypto holdings of over 211 Bitcoin, worth $20 million at the time, and 22.9 ETH, worth over $79,000. Now, we talked a little bit about this in the last episode about somebody getting robbed during a crypto transaction in South Korea. Well, there's more information that's been released. So, an in-person crypto deal ends in murder at Jeju Hotel. An in-person crypto exchange in a Jeju hotel has become a crime scene, leaving one Chinese investor dead and 4 suspects arrested in a brutal murder case. The murder, which happened February 24th, highlights the inherent risks of unregulated face-to-face crypto transactions. The victim had traveled to the hotel specifically to complete a crypto transaction. He was reportedly robbed of 85 million won, which is approximately $63,000 in cash during the attack. That's like, honestly, human life is worth so much more than that. I can't believe how disgusting people are. They would do something like that over such a small amount of money. Like, it's not a small amount, obviously, right? But like, comparatively, like, you know, when you have institutions holding billions and billions and trillions of dollars worth of value, they're robbing someone for what is, you know, in a lot of places, somebody's yearly wage. So it's still a lot, but in comparison, it's really not. Rising violence, global threat to cryptocurrency investors. And this is kind of what we've been talking about, folks. This tragedy is not an isolated event. It reflects a disturbing global trend of increasing violence targeting individuals involved in crypto. The Jeju murder also occurs against the backdrop of a rapidly evolving and increasingly sophisticated criminal landscape in the crypto space. 2025 Crypto Crime Report by Chainalysis reveals a staggering 51 billion in illicit transaction volume in the past year, shattering previous records. The report details a professionalized era of crypto crime characterized by AI-driven scams, stablecoin laundering, and highly organized cyber syndicates. Criminals are increasingly utilizing DeFi platforms and privacy-focused cryptos like Monero to evade detection, moving away from the more easily traceable Bitcoin. While ransomware payments have decreased, this indicates a shift in tactics, not a decline in criminal activity. The report highlights the rise of hyper-professionalized crypto cybercrime networks, including fraud cartels and nation-state hackers. The Jeju murder highlights risks of unregulated crypto deals. The murder of the Chinese investor serves as a stark warning about dangers of in-person crypto transactions, particularly those conducted outside of regulated exchanges. As crypto crime becomes increasingly sophisticated and violent, both individual investors and law enforcement agencies face a significant and growing challenge. You always got to be careful out there, folks. There is other ways to do P2P transactions, person-to-person transactions on some exchanges. You don't have to necessarily meet in person. The less attack vectors that you can supply somebody who's trying to take advantage of you, the better. Always keep that in mind. Now, a crypto scam out of India. Police have arrested 3 people in a $2.4 million fraud, and the mastermind is still at large. Assam police have arrested 3 people linked to a crypto scam involving the fraudulent RSN crypto token. The arrested suspects convinced thousands of investors to put money into an online gaming and investment scheme, promising a 2% return per deposit. Investigators say the operation was a fraud, with victims losing large amounts of money. Investigators have also found evidence that the suspects rented out bank accounts to cybercriminals across India for 1,000 to 2,000 super rupees. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but it's approximately 1.2 million to 2.4 million US dollars, enabling further financial fraud. Seized items from the operation include laptops, mobile phones, and SIM cards, which are now being examined for additional leads. Is China involved, though? I mean, probably. Cybercrime specialists have traced the fraudulent website used in the scheme to China, pointing to a potential cross-border fraud operation. The website hosted on an Amazon server was allegedly used to manipulate crypto values and mislead investors. Crazy, crazy stuff, folks. At least in some cases, law enforcement is getting the upper hand on some of this stuff, but it seems like, criminals and people who are trying to do harm are always one step ahead, or, getting off pretty laissez-faire. In other news, though, 24,041 Americans have been affected as billion-dollar bank suffers data breach. Not good stuff, not good stuff. Not directly crypto-related, but, it all ties in, right? The Massachusetts-based Lender Reading Cooperative Bank, also known as RCB, says a phishing-related cyber attack is impacting 24,041 customers. The incident is believed to have occurred between August 8th of 2024 and January 31st of 2025. Through RCB's ongoing investigation, RCB determined that a bank employee clicked on a phishing email originating from a known sender at another organization with whom the bank conducts business and which routinely works in the banking industry. RCB's investigation determined that certain individuals' personally identifiable information may have been impacted. Some of the data at risk includes names or other personally identifying information, according to the filing. And I think they leave that pretty vague because they don't want to tell exactly what was breached, which means probably a lot more than just names were breached. So if you are involved with the RCB Bank, make sure you keep an eye on your stuff there, folks. Well, we're talking about scams. We're talking about Pi once again here, folks. I know it's a popular token, but as you know, many critics, including myself, believe that it's not a legitimate offering. No Binance Pi listing, crypto up, Pi down, scam alert raised. Picoin has tumbled 4.5% almost, now sitting at about $1.68. Interestingly, despite the drop, Picoin trading volume has surged 21.83%, nearing $124 million, a sign of heightened market activity, but not necessarily confidence. The global market is making a strong comeback, reaching an impressive $3.08 trillion in market cap. That's about 9% almost increase in just 24 hours. Trading activity is at its peak, with $188.5 billion in volume, up by a staggering 145%. DeFi holds $11.95 billion, making up roughly 6.5% of the market, and stablecoins are dominating the market, controlling over 90% of all crypto trades at over $171 billion in volume. But is Picoin a scam, or is it just struggling? Well, crypto analysts remain divided on Picoin's true value. Many traders argue that the delayed Pi Network Binance listing date is causing instability, but skeptics say it might even be a slow-burning scam. If it's made by a bunch of Harvard graduates and it's taken, 5-6 years to launch to mainnet, something there doesn't smell right. There's a whole bunch of red flags here, including, there's no legitimate large crypto YouTubers talking about it. And all of the comments in the videos, whether they are of actual people or in most cases, just sloppy AI videos, with AI doing all the writing of the script, the talking, and the image generation for it, are all people from other less wealthy countries who are essentially just waiting to dunk and get rich free, essentially. Nothing is free, folks. If something's free and you really can't find a way, for to pay for it, essentially you are the product. So Facebook's a perfect example of that. One of the biggest red flags for Pi Network is that 90% of its tokens are locked, preventing widespread circulation. Some crypto believers still see Picoin as a promising project, but others aren't so sure. Binance's refusal to list Pi Network fuels speculation that there is more to the story. With most of its tokens locked and no clear roadmap, skepticism continues to grow over whether Picoin is a legitimate investor or a ticking time bomb. To further that, Bybit CEO Ben Zhang, I believe his name is, or Ben Zhao, he's also saying that it's a scam and not to touch it. And there's a bunch of other people also in the space saying similar things, folks. In my opinion, it's a data harvesting scam. And if you did KYC, that might be another thing you want to keep an eye on with the information that you provided to those people, because the people doing the KYC are literally volunteers. I've seen some posts on X. I've also have a personal friend who was doing some of the verification for Pi. So, if you have a bad actor in there that's getting access to this information, sure, maybe they did the verification, maybe they stole your data, maybe the person did verification for somebody that shouldn't be verified, for example, as well, or, possibly all the data is just being funneled into some other organization or network. You never know. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Regarding Pi, we got some more news though. Vietnam's police, they're issuing a warning about Pi network. Now this article is a little bit vague, but it does mention Pi by name several times, as well as broader things in crypto. Vietnam authorities have issued an advisory on the Pi network token, warning users that using it for payments is illegal. In an announcement on Facebook, the Vietnam police observed that the recent increase in the usage of Pi tokens for everyday transactions in the country could attract sanctions and criminal prosecution. And I think they're talking about like sanctions from possibly North Korea, China, what have you. According to the authorities, virtual currencies cannot be used as a means of payment in the country as it breaches existing laws. It stated that any organization that accepts Pi for payments could face sanctions. Now, I'm not sure if that means sanctions from the government, possibly, of Vietnam to companies in Vietnam, or exactly what it is all about there. But the police added that the sanction could be a fine varying between 50 million and 100 million Vietnamese dollars, or such entities could be prosecuted for violating regulations on banking activities under their Article 206 of the Criminal Code. Vietnam does have one of the highest levels of crypto adoption globally, and the Pi crypto has gained prominence there, especially after several exchange listings. And this is not the first time that authorities in the country have warned about using digital assets for transactions. Earlier, the State Bank of Vietnam have warned against using crypto for payments. Meanwhile, government authorities in the country further noted that Pi does not have any real value, as its current price is based solely on speculation. As they stated, Pi, and cryptos in general, are not considered assets under Vietnam law. Therefore, users should be aware of the risks investing in Pi. Some of the wording here is quite interesting, though. It's not what they're saying necessarily, it's what they're not saying. Ambiguous inference is always important. It highlighted some of the potential risks associated with the token, including scammers using it for illegal activities by creating mimic tokens for unassuming investors or even fake applications to collect user data. Just like I said, it's a data harvesting scam. It's not what they're saying, it's not what they're not saying, folks. You always got to pay attention to kind of what's outside the lines, The Department of Cybersecurity and Crime Prevention also called on those investing in Pi to carefully research all information before investing so as to avoid the risk of property damage and encountering unfortunate events. Again, they're being super vague, but they are warning specifically about Pi. Something to pay attention to there. Now, the Bybit hack that I'm sure you all remember. Well, the hackers are close to laundering all of the stolen funds. Criticism mounts over the delayed response. Bybit hackers are near completing the laundering of $1.5 billion in stolen ETH, with criticism aimed at Circle for delaying action on freezing the assets. This is kind of a two-edged sword, but I actually think I have to side with Circle on this one, just simply for the greater good of the cryptocurrency industry and the network itself. Let's dig in though here as to why. So they've already moved roughly 70% of the funds and are expected to finish the process within 3 days. The funds have been moved using a variety of methods, including intermediary wallets, decentralized exchanges, and cross-chain bridges, which have made it difficult for investigators to track the stolen Ethereum. As the laundering process accelerates, there have been growing criticism of Circle, the issuer of the USDC stablecoin, for not promptly blacklisting the wallets associated with the hackers. This delay in response is not the first time Circle has been criticized for handling illicit funds slowly. Previous incidents like the Ledger and Nomad bridge hacks raising similar concerns. Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire, defended the company's response, stating that they only act upon direct requests from law enforcement. He argued that intervening without such requests could cause harm to the market and the users. And I kind of agree with that because, this is a decentralized economy. If they just start doing things to, take crypto, move crypto, block crypto, whatever, what's to say they won't do that in the future for no reason, which, again, there is a reason, but not directly by law enforcement forcing them to do so. You never know, and they don't want that kind of bad rap, and I kind of agree with them there. waiting for legal approval creates unnecessary delays, which ultimately helps the hackers succeed in their laundering schemes. And I mean, that is true for sure. Bybit has launched a $140 million reward program, though, for individuals who help trace and freeze the assets. So far, 16 people have been rewarded a combined $4.2 million for the contributions. Despite these efforts, the rapid pace at which the funds are being moved presents a significant challenge for authorities and further emphasizes the need for quicker responses from entities like Circle. Let me know what you think in the comments on this one. This is kind of a tough one. But what is greater, or what is better, I should say, for the greater good of the cryptocurrency market is probably more important than getting the funds back. Because as we'll talk about in a minute here, some funds can be returned once, the criminals are caught, which does happen quite often. U.S. authorities to return $8.2 million seized from crypto wrong number scammers to victims. So sometimes the good wins, and sometimes the hackers, and most times I should say, the hackers don't always get away with stuff. There's a difference between, decentralization and complete anonymity. U.S. authorities are working to return $8.2 million in crypto frozen and seized from 3 scam addresses to victims of a con involving fraudulent messages and fake investment schemes. The FBI has identified 33 people snared by the scam. Another 5 are still yet to be identified. But it sounds like if they are identified, the money would be returned. So that's bullish. That's good news, folks. The UK has handed down its first criminal sentence over illegal crypto ATMs. Not a ton to talk about here, but this guy who sounds like he's possibly not a UK national, maybe he is, but I can't pronounce his name, unfortunately. He operated a crypto network of crypto ATMs without regulatory permission. He has been sentenced to 4 years in prison. Crazy, crazy stuff. I mean, of course, the regulators always want their cut. Again, this is kind of a two-edged sword. The market needs to be free. The market needs to breathe. The more regulations and regulation by enforcement is really not helping. It's just hindering the growth. Well, other nations such as, China, for example, have a lot of adoption happening in cryptocurrency. Brazil's another one. They're one of the world leaders in cryptocurrency adoption. So do we really want to fall behind like that in North America? Or do we want to be right, front running a lot of this stuff? Donald Trump seems to think we should be front running it, and I'm going to have to agree on that. Some information if you are a Crypto.com investor and a holder of Crow. I also want your opinion in the comments on this one, folks. Let me know what you think, because this is a weird one. Kronos wants to restore 70 billion burned Crow. What's behind this move? Well, let's see what they have to say here. There's a reissue plan where Kronos proposes to restore 70 billion burned Crow tokens, bringing the total supply back to 100 billion with a 10-year vesting schedule in a strategic reserve wallet. Now, I've heard on 2 different articles, there's a 10-year vesting schedule and a 5-year vesting schedule. I have not verified which is true. Either way, I'm not sure that this is the best course of action for them, especially after the scandal with the whole Kanye token the other day. If you didn't hear about that, it was a bloody mess. Crypto.com promoted a token that was not legitimately promoted by Kanye, because apparently he sold his account to someone in the dog with hat, I believe, or snake with hat, or something like that, meme coin project. But anyways, the ecosystem funding here, the move aims to provide long-term funding for ecosystem growth, incentivizing developers and supporting new projects and infrastructure enhancements. But the community is split. While early voting shows strong initial support, with over 99% in favor, concerns persist over potential market dilution and its impact on Crow's value. Once again, sound off in the comments, especially if you're a Crow investor, if you use Crypto.com regularly. XRP overtakes Tether as the 3rd largest crypto, because XRP is technically the 3rd largest crypto even when it's below Tether because it's not a stable, but now it's the 3rd overall, so stables don't even count anymore. Moving up the chain, moving up the ladder, folks. Exciting stuff. XRP has surged by over 30%, as I'm sure many of you saw yesterday. We've cooled off a little bit since then, but that's following Donald Trump's post on his social media platform, Truth Social. In his post, he claimed he directed the inclusion of the XRP token in the crypto strategic reserve, and he mentioned XRP first, actually. As part of his plan to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the world, Trump had previously suggested the institution of a national crypto reserve. Well, this Sunday, Trump made further comments on his reserve plans on Truth, saying, a U.S. crypto reserve will elevate this critical industry after years of corrupt attacks by the Biden administration. which is why my executive order on digital assets directed the Presidential Working Group to move forward on a crypto strategic reserve that includes XRP, Solana, and ADA, plus a few more. Over 1,200 crypto ATMs shut down in the US after fraud prevention bill proposal. More crypto ATM news, folks. Kind of crazy stuff, huh? I guess my highlighting didn't stay here, but we'll get the gist of this here. So apparently 1,200 crypto ATMs mysteriously went offline during the first week of March, coinciding with the introduction of a new bill aimed at combating fraud in the sector. An Illinois senator introduced the ATM Fraud Prevention Act, highlighting concerns over scams and illicit activities tied to crypto ATMs. I mean, a lot of scammers make you go to a crypto ATM and upload your crypto there, through cash, obviously, into a randomized wallet controlled by the hacker. And his proposal followed a case involving a constituent who did fall victim to a fraud. The legislation seeks to require ATM operators to implement scam warnings, enhance fraud prevention measures, and provide law enforcement with tools to track suspicious transactions. I mean, if it's on the Bitcoin chain, obviously it's trackable through blockchain sleuths, but providing more tools may or may not be a good thing as far as I'm concerned. So it's again another double-edged sword, folks. Despite 860 new crypto ATMs being installed in the U.S. last month, the sudden shutdown of 1,200 more than 1,200 machines led to a net decline of 1,100 machines globally. Let's see here. I wanted to mention, where is it here? So the U.S. remains the dominant player in the crypto ATM industry, hosting over 29,000 machines. Canada follows with 3,000 machines, and Australia ranks third with over 1,400 machines. Pretty cool stuff. Moving on. Why XRP's next move is a drop to $1. Now, I think this article is a little bit of fun, folks, and I always like to do the kind of back and forth to give you a wider perspective, show you kind of both sides of the coin. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. XRP has staged a short-term recovery, though technical indicators are flashing warning signs. The asset is currently forming a head and shoulders pattern, a bear signal that could foreshadow a drop towards $1, according to the analyst Ali Martinez. Martinez analysis suggests that the neckline is around $1.90 and a break below this level could signal further downside. Projected drop after head and shoulders breakdown typically equals the distance from the head's peak to the neckline, so like around here somewhere, I guess. On the flip side, pseudonymous analyst Dark Defender offered a more upbeat take. The expert sees XRP poised for a breakout that could pave the way for a new all-time high. The token's daily RSI recently showed a double bottom as nearing a golden cross, which is a bullish signal hinting at upward momentum. Based on Elliott Wave analysis, Dark Defender flagged $2.33 as immediate resistance and $1.99 as key support. Clearing $2.33 could propel XRP towards the $3.39 and even $5.85 levels in the short term. Interestingly enough, the XRP did bounce right off that 233 area just earlier today. So I think we're poised for a little bit more upswing, if you ask me, but I don't like to do too much predicting myself. Now, XRP history hints at March rebound. What's next? Well, a lot of technical analysis kind of goes out the window when you're talking utility and, ETF listings and everything else that we got going on. Mass adoption is really starting to take hold here, and technical indicators are going to matter less and less. Same with the 4-year cycle. Less and less if we keep going this direction, folks. XRP's price has experienced a notable decline in February as a broader crypto sell-off spurred a market shift away from riskier assets. XRP had a stellar start to the year, skyrocketing to a 7-year high of $3.39. Notably, XRP has been on a bull run since November with increases of 282% and 6% in the final 2 months of 2024, followed by a 45% gain in January. However, February saw a slowdown for XRP, making its first red month since November 2024. As eyes are peeled on where XRP trends next, historical trends suggest that March could bring a much-needed recovery. Since 2021, XRP has consistently closed March in the green, often building on momentum from February. Even in 2023, when February ended in the red, XRP still managed to finish March with gains. The market is watching for signs of a sustained rebound. Looking at XRP's performance over the last 4 years, the crypto concluded March in the green, indicating that a rebound is possible if history repeats itself. While history does suggest a rebound, it's important to bear in mind that past performance might not be a guarantee of future results. XRP's price might be impacted by broader market conditions and developments in the XRPL ecosystem or the Ripple's SEC lawsuit, which is a bullshit lawsuit anyways, folks. Don't worry about it. We're on the right side of history. XRP gains against Ethereum. Is it time to reallocate? I mean, the time to reallocate was, a while ago when Ethereum was up higher and XRP was lower, because we're about to flip Ethereum, folks, in my opinion, which is pretty exciting stuff. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Ripple has, and they call Ripple XRP, whatever. It's the term is synonymous, but it's not the same thing. XRP has sustained strong bullish structure on the one-day chart. Is trading at over 300% above its election day opening price. In contrast, Ethereum has erased all post-election gains, breaching the $2,400 support, and is now trading 8% lower. The two top whale wallets showing signs of reaccumulation, aligning with XRP's pullback to $1.95. These metrics indicate a rising dip buying interest. If sustained, this could confirm an accumulation phase, positioning Ripple for a potential breakout once broader market conditions stabilize. A little bit more XRP news. Ripple prepares for what could be a $795 million XRP sale in March. Ripple, the company behind the XRPL development and XRP's largest token holder, is preparing its treasury for March sales. On-chain data reveals Ripple has reserved 300 million XRP from the 1 billion unlocked on March 1st, and at these prices, that amount is worth $795 million. Finbold retrieved the reserve's transaction history from XRP Scan, which shows the labeled Ripple One wallet account receiving the tokens, and this is a known pattern that repeats every month if you know anything about XRPL. So when Ripple unlocks 1 billion XRP from the Genesis distribution, it reserves a fraction for its budget sales and relocks the rest for future unlocks. It is important to understand that this is not the usual behavior, though, as Finbold has reported in the last few months. XRP is still down about 11.5% in the last 30 days, fluctuating a little bit, of course. While the company did not disclose each sale separately, Ripple has already disclosed its selling model on many occasions. According to sources, its XRP sales go through an on-demand liquidity model, selling at market price to willing customers. Definitely something to look into if you're not super familiar with how the XRPL operates. It's just good information to have. Trump is to headline the White House's historic crypto summit on March 7th. In a surprising move, the White House, under the leadership of Trump, will host its first ever crypto summit on Friday, and the summit will feature prominent CEOs, investors, and key members of the Presidential Working Group on Digital Assets, including David Sachs and Bo Hines. This event marks a major milestone in the United States pro-crypto government stance. This summit is seen as a major step towards formalizing the government's relationship with the crypto industry. Industry experts view this as incredibly bullish news for the crypto market as more regulatory bodies show their support. The momentum for crypto continues to grow. The summit will provide an opportunity for crypto industry leaders to engage directly with government officials. Not much more to say there, but that's pretty bullish, folks. Good stuff on the horizon. Well, we'll see. It could be a nothing burger too. The SEC says meme coins are not securities. Pump.fund revenue falls. Solana's having a heyday with everyone jumping ship after all the rug pulls, folks. The U.S. SEC has issued a staff statement explicitly declaring that meme coins generally do not qualify as securities under federal law. And as we talked about in one of my past episodes the other day, SEC also said it's not going to protect investors from known rugs and shit, although they've been harassing and hassling Ripple and other better known projects for quite some time now. It's almost like they don't really care too much about actually protecting investors. They care more about stifling innovation and not letting retail become too much of competition, adding FUD, scaring off people from buying in. The SEC clarified that meme coins typically have limited or no functionality and do not need to be registered with the SEC under securities laws. Funny how that works. The SEC's new position on meme coins directly addresses long-standing questions about how the assets should be treated under federal securities laws. Clarity is good, though. Clarity is good. In clear language, the regulatory body states that a meme coin is not itself a security because it does not generate a yield or convey rights to future income, profits, or assets of a business. The characteristics that separate meme coins from securities are typically purchased for entertainment, social interaction, speculative purposes, and cultural relevance. Pump.fund's revenue collapses as the meme coin market cools. Pump.fund, once the epicenter of meme coin creation on Solana, has seen its daily revenue drop dramatically to just above $1 million. This marks a major drop from its January 25 peak of $15.38 million. In the past 24 hours, approximately 27,700 tokens were created on Pump.fund, but only about 0.88% were successfully launched. Token launches have fallen from over 70,000 daily on January 23rd to approximately 25,000 by February 26th. This revenue collapse follows a period of growth for Pump.Fun throughout 2024, during which the platform helped in the launch of over 5.7 million new projects and generated more than $400 million in revenue. Crazy, crazy stuff, folks. Talk about diluting the market and, distributing funds to maybe where they shouldn't be going. And if you weren't involved in one of my last episodes, we talked a little bit about how essentially the way it works between Pump.Fun and what's the other thing there, that once you graduate essentially from Pump.Fun, anyway, whatever it's called, it locks in quite a large amount of Solana, and then the projects, when they die off, essentially cannot access that locked funds. They can't either way, right? But that's essentially deflating the supply of Solana, making, supply and demand, the value may go up because of it. A few more articles to talk about today. We got a little bit of a shorter episode today. The last few have been quite long, but that's a good thing. Crypto pundits bet big on Zelensky's fate after Trump says he wasn't thankful. Interesting stuff in this article, folks. Crypto bettors on Polymarket, the world's largest prediction market platform, have wagered over $400,000 on the prediction that Ukrainian president will leave office before July. Polymarket bettors forecast that there was a 26% chance of Zelensky's early departure. On Friday, Zelensky visited the White House for talks about the ongoing war in Ukraine. However, the meeting ended without an agreement as Trump accused Zelensky of being an uncooperative ally, showing little gratitude to the states. You don't have the cards right now, Trump said. You're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out, and I don't think it's going to be pretty. Meanwhile, more than 21 million in crypto wagers have been spent on the question of whether Trump will end the war in Ukraine during his first 3 months in office. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think that Trump is going to end the war, if you think Zelensky is going to leave, or if he's going to stay. Earlier, the platform hosted similar bets on former President Joe Biden dropping out of the 2024 presidential contest, while the crypto prediction platform has faced criticism, it accurately predicted Biden's unexpected exit. Prediction markets give people a financial motivation for conducting thorough research and making rational analysis for placing their bets, and they provide a much higher level of accuracy versus traditional polling because of the financial motivation. Without the promise of additional U.S. military support, Ukraine is currently mulling levying a crypto tax of up to 10% to help prop up Ukraine's economy amid the ongoing war with Russia. Millions of dollars to be handed out per year, no strings attached, as a U.S. city launches a new cash aid program. Now, I'm pretty sure in Canada we already have something like this, and I think it's called the child tax benefit, if I'm not mistaken. Not too versed on that, but I'm pretty sure we have something in place for this. This is billed as the first ever cash prescription program in Kalamazoo, Michigan. The RX Kids program has allocated $10 million to help out pregnant and nursing mothers financially during the early stages of a baby's life. Selected participants will receive a one-time payment of $1,500 after 16 weeks of pregnancy and $500 every month for the first 12 months of the baby's life. The monthly payments will stop after the baby's first birthday. Kind of a crazy, maybe disgusting, maybe fucked up side note to this whole thing. After the first 16 weeks, so that's 5 months or whatever. I mean, that's pretty far into it, I guess. But there are people out there who literally are all about having abortions just so they can keep having sex. And in this case, this might be a financial incentive to further enhance that community, if you will. I mean, it's kind of disgusting, kind of messed up. It may provide more problems in the whole abortion sector, more controversy, possibly more news, and more money being distributed to people who are just farming abortions, which I know that's fucked up, but it's the reality of the world. We live in a messed up place. This program, though, has raised $10 million so far, and the amount is expected to help run the project for the next 2 years. For our final segment today, it's going to be a quick little news video talking about strategy, MicroStrategy, and Michael Saylor. Just want to pause this here and get the volume on for y'all. So listen to this one before we end this off with a few final words.
Ponzi loop continues. Check this out. MicroStrategy, also known as Michael Saylor, announced that they purchased supposedly $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy bag holders are losing it right now. They're down over 7% on the day, and they're down over 45% from previous all-time highs. For those that do not believe me, check this out. MicroStrategy went to highs of $548 per share and is now trading at sub $290 per share. Doesn't it look super similar to the setup right before the crash is about to happen? And I want to remind you, Bitcoin isn't even selling off right now. This sell-off that we're experiencing on MicroStrategy is...
Aldi will hate me for exposing this secret. Hey Aldi, how much...
The Ponzi loop continues. Check this out. MicroStrategy, also known as Michael Saylor, announced that they purchased supposedly $2 billion worth of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy bag holders are losing it right now. They're down over 7% on the day, and they're down over 45% from previous all-time highs. For those that do not believe me, check this out. MicroStrategy went to highs of $548 per share and is now trading at sub $290 per share. Doesn't it look super similar to the setup right before the crash is about to happen? And I want to remind you, Bitcoin isn't even selling off right now. This sell-off that we're experiencing on MicroStrategy is all because of Michael Saylor continuing to dilute investors. And we all know that as soon as Bitcoin begins to sell off, MicroStrategy will start to crash, just like it did in 2022. When Bitcoin crashed, MicroStrategy went from $130 per share down to $15 per share. If you don't believe me, look it up. We've been calling out MicroStrategy since it hit $500 per share. It's a bullshit company that has no actual business and has been diluting investors. Keep it simple. If you want to invest in Bitcoin, then buy the asset itself. Don't buy a software company like MicroStrategy that continues to borrow against your shares, diluting you even more. And MicroStrategy...
It's important stuff right there, folks. What he said there at the end. If you're going to invest in Bitcoin, don't buy a company's stocks. Buy the actual asset itself. It goes for anything. Regarding this, though, I mean, Michael Saylor and his company, MicroStrategy, Strategy, whatever, is one of the largest Bitcoin holder wallets in the world. They hold an innumerable amount. It's kind of crazy. And it's always kind of a distraction, right? You know, say Michael Saylor says, oh yeah, Bitcoin, 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 but, you know, maybe he's accumulating something else in the background, just like when, you know, people like himself were saying, you know, Bitcoin's no good, don't buy it, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden he starts picking it up to save his business. Well, kind of crazy. What happens if he's, you know, saying Bitcoin, 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 look over here, buy Bitcoin, when actually he's accumulating something like, you know, this is just a theory, but maybe XRP, XLM, and XDC. All of a sudden, if he dumps that Bitcoin, it's going to cause waves, massive, massive waves, tsunamis in the market, folks. Always be aware, try to think and look 2 steps ahead. Don't always believe everything you see on the internet. That being said, that pretty much brings us to the end of today's episode. Excuse me. Make sure you check out quantzilla.online. Sometimes you have to add the www.quantzilla.online there to make the link work. But make sure you check out our website, join our Telegram. Got a bunch of exciting stuff, a bunch of exciting announcements happening. We got airdrops happening from other XRPL projects. We have a contest that's about to be launched very shortly after this video is over. Super exciting stuff there. We have paid to raid payments. We have daily drips for NFT holders. And we got exciting, unannounced, but announcement coming soon. Another airdrop for Quantzilla holders. Whole bunch of cool stuff going on, folks, there. Make sure you check it out. I also want to remind you, if you haven't, make sure you like the video. Make sure you follow the channel, whether we're on X or YouTube. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel at KhaosDubz for a whole bunch of other crypto videos, including crypto gaming content, interviews, deep dives, scam investigations. There's even some of my original music on there you can dig into if you're interested in electronic music. Pretty cool stuff there. Make sure you always do your own research, folks. There's so many scams. Don't trust people with too much information. The $5 wrench attacks are getting pretty serious out there. It's pretty scary times. Always be aware of what you're doing. Once again, none of this is financial advice. If you're not holding XRP, though, you know, I highly suggest you look into it. You super should be. And also XDC and XLM. There's definitely ways to buy them. In Canada, they made it harder to get XDC for sure. But there is ways around it, and definitely something I would look into. Always do your own research. I can't stress that enough, but doing your own research should provide you some clarity and make you very highly interested in those tokens. The world is about to change. The largest wealth transfer in history is about to happen, and if you're not prepared for it, I mean, that switch is going to flip overnight, and it's going to price everybody out. It's going to be amazing, folks. The future certainly looks bright, if you ask me. Hit me up in the comments if you have any questions. You want to know anything else. And take care of yourselves, folks. That's pretty much it for today. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope you have yourselves a great day, a great week. We're going to get back on in another day or two here for another news segment. We're doing some live X Spaces. And it sounds like this Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific, I believe it is, we're going to be doing a X Spaces with the Salute team. So super exciting stuff there. Make sure you check it out. You're going to get to know the Quantzilla devs a little bit more in depth. We're going to talk about cross-chain projects as well as other projects on the XRPL in that space as well. So, yeah, stick around. Make sure you join our Telegram, and y'all have a great day. Appreciate you. Bless and love. Bless and love.